Yo, what's up, peeps? So I have a little bit of a mini topic to talk about today regarding the tick situation that's going on the island. And I know they're talking about like the bioengineered things and stuff like that, and how it's affecting red meat eaters, and who knows. I don't fully know the details. I just saw like parts about it. Since it's becoming a bigger topic, I'm going to discuss my experience with tick bites, because this may or may not have some form of importance for the future. If it does, great. If not, is what it is. That's just my own personal experience. Take it as you will and tread lightly. The way mine started out was I went out with a bunch of friends one day. We decided to go hiking for the summer, and we went out to a spot that is around the Hamptons area, or like somewhere closer to that region. Like, we were definitely very far out east. We were going to some place that we didn't even know. We had an initial plan, and then the plane got shifted over to wherever we headed to. XYZ later, we go to the spot. It seemed very nice, very cool. We had a whole full day there. Coming back, we didn't notice the tick dilemma until we came back towards the car. And my god, there were ticks like all over us, all over our legs or feet. I got lucky in the sense that I was wearing shoes and I had socks on, I think, that day. But even with that, a whole bunch of them still got on me, and I got quite a few bites. Maybe not as many as my friends did, but I got quite a bit. We got to try to get them off before we got back in the car and stuff like that. Got home, things seemed normal. We were like, damn, these tick things sucked. And I remember it was not the first night, but the nights that came afterward, that some strange things were happening to me. I was having a lot of itching, and with the itching, I noticed there was a rash that was growing. And like, the ticks that I saw looked like how the Lone Star ticks are depicted in the photos. And so I believe I did get bitten by those, probably. I didn't develop any kind of allergy to meat necessarily, but I did notice any kind of breakouts and stuff like that. I've never really experienced too much of that in my life, and the only times that I did, it was usually in relation to the food I was eating. When I either cut off the food or I chill out on, maybe because maybe I'm overeating or something like that, if I do any of that, usually the problem goes away. In this case, I did all of those things. The problem, not only did it not go away, it got worse. The rashes grew. They acted up specifically at night. The more I tried to resist itching it, the worse it got still, until I had no choice but to scratch it. Then scratching caused it to get worse and spread more, and it went from the ankle of my foot, and it started to spread all the way up to my neck. Now, that was the worst that it got. I didn't let it get any further than that, because I started like really experimenting by then. But this is where the story kind of gets interesting. I was seeing if it was something related to what I was doing, and it appeared to not be the food that I was eating. And like, any kind of diet changes I didn't seem to help. I tried eating fish, I tried eating beef, I tried eating vegetables or fruits on their own. I tried fasting. None of those things like changed the outcome of what was going on. Something else, it was also affecting my sleep. And it got to the point that the itches were so bad at night that it was preventing me from sleeping. And anytime I tried to get close to sleeping, I would get zapped awake. I noticed I had an issue not only falling asleep, I could eventually go to sleep, but not for very long. And I noticed, depending on what I ate, the sleep quality was impacted. But I decided I wanted to take this a little further, because most of the diet changes that I did weren't really like changing very much. And if my sleep pattern was getting affected, then my healing factor was also getting affected too. So the chances of the rash going away had now decreased even more so. And I didn't want to go to a doctor yet. I wanted to kind of like flesh out all possible options before I decided. Like, I usually go to doctor like as a last possible option if I can't fix something myself. So it just started happening during the day now too. So that's when it started to get like a lot worse. I don't remember if I was working at this point yet. I was just home, and I was getting so bothered by what was going on that I tried to just kind of like do whatever to just like distract myself from having to feel this. But I was still trying to figure out what was happening. So I eventually just got to the point that I was frustrated that I turned off my phone I wasn't hanging out with nobody. I was like not in the mood. I did not want to do anything. I turned off my phone. I noticed there was a change in quality of sleep and everything like that. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. But then when it got to the point that like during the day, I was able to notice that I was getting itches while being by certain objects. That was when something was kind of clicking in my head. And so I decided to take this one step further again. So I bought an EMF meter because I started to kind of put two and two together. Bought an EMF meter. I tried to see how much radiation was coming off of my phone and all the objects around me in my room and stuff like that. Of course, we have 2 Wi-Fi routers in the house, so shitload of EMF, whatever. The highest ones that were in my room specifically were my laptop, because I kept it on usually, my phone, because I also usually had it on like 24/7, even when I was sleeping, and my TV. But it wasn't like my TV, like my monitor. It was my Fire Stick. Funny enough, very strange. And I wondered why that was, because most of the time my TV was off. And I'm like, how the hell is this thing giving off so much? So this is this is good. Other than like my phone and my laptop, when I turned those two off, I was like, okay, that should eliminate probably almost everything that I could have in my room that's like giving off like wireless frequencies, because I didn't have a lot of non-plugged things in my room. I ended up finding out that my Fire Stick was in a constant state of trying to update because I had not touched this thing for like either months or years. It's been a long time since I had used it, and because this thing was plugged in, it was constantly running. And whenever, even if the TV was off, the thing would automatically restart itself. And when it was restarting itself, it was actually maximizing the amount of like EMF frequency that was being, I guess, distributed in my room. I was a little shocked by that. So I ended up unplugging it completely. Like, I wanted that shit off. If it affected any form of my life, I needed that shit gone out. By doing all those things, I noticed the next day that my quality of sleep had gotten a lot better. I was able to sleep through the night and the rash started going down. So this was like a 1, 2, 3 connection. This was not even like a, oh, what if this is not from this but from that. This was like a direct like correlation right here. Something I was eating as well. So I was also consuming canned fish a lot of the time. The problem with that, I was eating canned fish out of an aluminum can, and what happens is a lot of these things, especially aluminum, very electronically conductive. So imagine all of that feeding into the fish that you're eating, and then that's going into your body. Big electrical conductor. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Put 2 and 2 together. It's like common sense. But even if you don't believe that part, right? I noticed that when my rashes were active, they were red. They would be red and raised. When the rashes started to go down and disappear, they would turn dark in color. I could also tell when they started to kind of activate again, because I could re-trigger the scenario and I could replay it multiple times. Because I did do a lot of experimenting once I figured a lot of this stuff out. It got to the point I went outside of my room and I just went by certain objects to see if my body reacted. And lo and behold, felt a little zap and itchy sensation. And right off rip, I knew right away that these things were at least being exacerbated by EMFs. I was not a huge believer in the concept that EMFs were like impacting my body like that before. I had a feeling that they were doing something, but I didn't realize the extent of it. And I didn't put 2 and 2 together until I started doing more searching online too. And I ended up finding out that tick bites apparently do have a correlation with electrosensitivity. I don't know what the exact connection is or how the function works and why it happens to be tick bites. But if this can help somebody in the future and prevent them from having like a major issue, I would do my best to at least give some knowledge. I don't know how my friends fared with it, and my cousin, who also lived in the same house as me, he also got the same kind of tick bites. He ended up going to the doctor for it. So we have two different examples here. He went to the doctor for it, and he was given a medication. I don't know what the medication was. I never asked him. But I noticed that his, like my rash, once I figured everything out and kind of put the pieces together, eventually it went away. And eating beef fats actually helped me a lot with that too, with the speed of how fast it healed. I don't know if it's specifically beef fats or if it's just the fact that fat would be probably more of an insulator as opposed to eating like mineral-based carbs. Put one and two together, minerals carry electrolytes, electronically conductive, etc., etc. Put one, two together, Google search it if you don't know what it is. You're basically like a living light bulb or a living battery, and you got like electricity just running through you. But it's in a way that you're being constantly charged at times that you're not supposed to. The sunlight apparently also curbed the issues a lot, because I noticed like it really flared up mostly at night. Even when it happened during the day, I would have to be by something giving off like a Bluetooth signal or like a smart object, like a smart screen or a smart phone, smart whatever, something giving off like a Bluetooth signal. Those are the ones that usually give off more like EMF frequencies. But back to my cousin and I. So my cousin went to the doctor for it. He got medication, and I noticed his rash took a lot longer to go away than mine. Mine went away probably after like a couple months. And like even when I got itching and stuff at night, if I did all the steps right, it went away. Whereas when my cousin, who didn't do any of those steps, and I never really like told him too much about it, his rashes got worse. And even with the medication, I don't necessarily think it fully like removed the issue. I think it just curbed the symptoms. And I noticed he had like a big like scar as a result. I don't know if they ever like fully like healed or if they fully went away. I never asked him about it like years later, but that was something that definitely was quite a thing to see. And I wasn't sure how like I said, I wasn't sure how my friends fared with it. I didn't get to ask them later on because I don't really know if they got a lot of tick bites or if they found some other solution that worked for them. But it really did open my eyes to electrosensitivity and that it is very much a real thing. Normally, I'm not like too impacted by these things, but there is a rare occasion that like I notice maybe my sleep quality is different or my ability to heal my body for certain things is slowed down. I never really took into account the idea that it could be from like my phone being next to me when I'm sleeping, or TV running, or a smart thing running in the background, or like something Bluetooth related kind of just frying me, or my Wi-Fi router, who knows. There's so many different factors that could be accounted for in this, but it's a little scary to think that all of this is a possible threat and a possible danger. If nothing else, I don't know how many people have experimented with this. I don't know for people that have gotten that kind of bite, if they've managed to find some workaround or if they've noticed anything similar to me. If they have, then that's going to be something like major to look into. With this video, who knows, hopefully maybe something can come out of this. And if not, if anyone's having any kind of similar issues to this, if it can help at least one person, hey, I did the best that I could. It is quite an interesting world we live in right now, and a lot of these things are kind of just getting closer and closer to us, and they're not slowing down. And I know they're not. They have no intent on slowing down. But for anybody that's big into experimenting, big into research studies and case papers and getting their sources on XYZ, then this is definitely something that you could get a pretty good free reign into. I'm sure it'd make a lot of money if it comes into something, but it's really not about the money. It should be about just helping people and getting to the root of an issue. For anybody that's on Long Island, if any of you guys are going out east, or if you're going to anywhere that has like a large tick population and you have any kind of issues like this, you could go see a doctor, get help, whatever you feel, but look into whatever the root of the issue is. Because I mean, I'm a bit hard-headed. I refuse to just go to a doctor to spend money for something that I could easily resolve at home, because you already know, like, if things get to the wire, like, end of the day, it's just gonna be you. Like, no one's gonna help you out with that. No one's gonna save you from that. And I don't really know where the world is heading with these, like, releases of ticks into the wild for whatever their intent is, but I hope that maybe this could make a difference somewhere, or in any part of the world. Long Island is just one of many places I'm sure that's affected. I'm just one guy. As far as I'm concerned, I did my part. Oh yeah, just to clarify too, I'm not living like this all the time. When the rash went away, after a while, I was able to just chill like normal again. Now I'm a little more cognizant of whatever's around me and like the stuff that could be influencing my body. And people should be more cognizant of that. Whatever's going on out here, it's just not a fair game. That's all it is. I'll show you what the EMF meter looks like too. Peace. You can look into investing. It is one of these, like an EMF reader. That's what I used at the time to kind of like see what was in my room, or to see like the levels around my room. Otherwise I would have been like getting driven mad by whatever was going on at the time. Luckily I had one from like years ago that I had bought just to kind of test out. I was curious. This one's an EMF fields acoustimeter, they call it, but it went by different names. They had all kinds of ones on eBay and Amazon and etc, etc, so you can get whatever kind suits your needs. This one's definitely like a legit one though, so if you want to get this model, this is what it is, and this is the brand. And it's a basic, like, oh, it has an on off switch, just turn it on, and then you'll be able to scan around the room, and then you can see where high levels are. It's probably reading my phone right now, which is why it'd be high. See, like, I point to my phone, it's like damn near max. Then I go around, it points to whatever is like immediately in front of it. It's probably reading the wireless router that's in the next room, past the walls here, but I know the wall's probably blocking some of that signal. And then I could scan the floor. You could see it's kind of like dropping around there. There are certain levels that are like far above average, and then there's just like average levels that shouldn't be too bad. But of course, there's electricity all around the house and stuff, so you're gonna get varying levels. But yeah, that's the best I could probably do in regards to telling you guys this information. So the rest is just do your research and find whatever suits you. All right, catch y'all.